Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Outside the Box. And today it's Tuesday, another great day. I didn't have to go to work today, so sorry about that. If you did have to go to work, I'm here to relax. We're here to talk about some sports from yesterday. If you didn't have to go to work, I hope you went out and actually did something. I hope you lived up today the best of your abilities and got some productive work done. Hopefully you did that. But if you didn't, just come. You're here at Sports Outside the Box. We're gonna chill out. We're gonna talk about some sports and have a good time. So to talk about some things that happened from the men's side of NCAA basketball, we had number 17 Maryland. They moved up to number 15. So kudos to them, Jalen Smith and company. We just talked about yesterday how Jalen Smith had that big 29-point game. So kudos to Maryland for jumping to number 15. The only change we had in the top 10, number 8 Duke slides back to number 9, and we have number 9 Villanova. They jump up to number 8. Only change we have in the top 10 for men's basketball. It looks like number 13 Kentucky, they have moved up from number 15. They are now the same rank as the Kentucky women. They are both ranked at number 13 now. But if we look for some men's basketball that happened yesterday, we have number 3 Kansas playing Oklahoma State. And you got to give it to Oklahoma State. They came out, they tried to play well. They played well in the first half, but ultimately the Kansas Jayhawks, they just did their thing. There's a reason why they're the number 3 team in the country. Christian Braun, he was out there knocking down some big shots, and we also had Isaiah Moss off the bench. He was knocking down some big shots. And you're sitting there in the first half, you're seeing how Kansas kind of blitzed Oklahoma State, and you're kind of wondering, like, are you guys going to guard the 3? Are you guys going to even try? Like, what's going on here? And at one point, I believe they were down 24-7. Yeah, they were down 24-7. Oklahoma State, all of a sudden, they just start picking it up. After Kansas scored 24, Oklahoma State was like, okay, well, we're not just going to get bulldozed over. We're here to play too. And all of a sudden, here comes Oklahoma State, and they go into halftime. It's 29-24. So you're thinking, like, we have a game on our hands. This is going to be an actual game. Oklahoma State has all this momentum going into halftime. They're going to come back out, and they're going to keep up with the same level of intensity that they've had. That's exactly the opposite of what they did. They did not come out. They came out like flat. Christian Braun came out, I think, back-to-back threes coming out. Then Moss hit a 3. It's like, did you forget what happened the first half? You must have forgot, because the only way that you will keep leaving Christian Braun open and keep leaving Kansas open from 3 is if you don't remember what happened to the first half. It's like they went into halftime. Whatever the coach said, he might have said, let's get into the game plan that we wanted to do in the first half before Kansas started knocking down all these threes. Let's go to that defensive scheme. Let's try it out. I don't know what he said, but they came out and did the exact same thing they did in the beginning, and all of a sudden they're down by like 20 points. It was kind of crazy, and I'm just sitting there like confused. Christian Braun, I think he had a season high last night, 21 points, I believe. Then also, he had a 16-point outing, the second best total of the season for him. Isaiah Moss, he had his he had 3 3-pointers last night. It was a 5th game this season that he went for 3 3-pointers. I was sitting there just thinking, I know the coach, Mike Boynton, I know he has to be sitting there looking at his team in some type of way, like, what were you guys thinking? What were you doing? Why was Christian Braun still open? He's been knocking down threes the whole game. I don't know, but it was very confusing. Like I said, I don't know what he told his team at halftime, but he had to say something that just didn't register in the right way. And we see a lot of times, teams go into halftime, they're down, they come back out, then all of a sudden it's like the team just turns on. The team is renewed. And that's kind of what happened to Kansas yesterday with Bill Self in Kansas. They went into halftime like, okay, we're not going to allow Oklahoma State to come out here and beat us. Like, that's not going to happen. I don't care if it's on the road or at home. We're not going to allow them to beat us. And on the road, number 3 Kansas, they get the job done, and they get the win last night. So kudos to Kansas. They pulled through. They didn't allow Oklahoma State's momentum going into halftime to affect them in any type of way. So kudos to Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks. Also, we had North Carolina. They beat NC State 75-65. Garrison Brooks, another great game for North Carolina. 25 points, 17 points in the first half. And NC State, they try to get this win. And NC State has played better than North Carolina this year. But Roy Williams, Hall of Famer, college basketball head coach, he was not going to lose to his rival. last night, and they actually just played as a team. Armando Bacot, I think in the first half, the 51 seconds left in the first half, and one. And after the and one, they did not look back. North Carolina held the lead the whole second half. And it was a really good game. The reason why NC State loses this game had to be because of fouls. If you look at it, North Carolina made 12 more free throws. They attempted 18 more free throws. You have to think that Kevin Keatts, who's the coach of NC State, at some point in this game had to say, stop fouling. Why do we keep fouling them? They have shot 18 more free throws than us. Why do you keep fouling them? And it kind of almost turned into what the Rockets did last night from the free throw line with no James Harden, Russell Westbrook, or Clint Capella. Almost exactly what they did, shooting so many free throws. Also, if you want to look at the college women last night, real quick, the college, Maryland University, they move up from the women's. They move up to 17. They were number 20. They just beat Northwestern. They move up to number 17 in the rankings. Number three now is Oregon. They bumped UConn. UConn drops back to number 4, and also, I don't know if anybody saw, but Team USA played UConn yesterday. They played in a little exhibition game to try to get the Team USA ready for FIBA, and UConn looked pretty good, man. I'm trying to tell you, they look pretty good. But Team USA, of course, they had all of that. You had the experience, the knowledge, the basketball IQ all on that one team, and UConn just couldn't hang on. They couldn't hold it, and they end up losing the game. But UConn stormed them towards the end of the what was it? About to go into halftime, and I think I wrote down what they did. Oh, yeah, it was a 17-2 run in the second quarter, but Team USA, of course, ended the game on a 25-8 run. So, of course, like I said, Team USA IQ, you have all that talent on the team. People working hard. And, of course, everybody right now, everybody's in that Mamba mentality right now. So, Team USA, they pulled it out against UConn. It was a good game. And, of course, Coach Gino and UConn honored Gigi by having a UConn jersey for her, and it had a hashtag always UConn, always a Husky, sorry. But, that was something really nice to see that Coach Gino and UConn did for Gigi and Kobe. But some other college action last night from the women's side. Minnesota took on number 20 Indiana. Indiana won 65-52. Grace Berger, my goodness, if this girl, shooter, she was shooting lights out last night. 10 of 13 shooting, career high 25 points, career high 11 rebounds in the first quarter. Minnesota looked all right, and honestly, every team, if you want to be honest, every team in the first quarter looks all right in almost any game. Everybody comes out. People typically don't look flat. They kind of, the stamina goes down, it withers away, and all of a sudden you're getting tired, and everything starts declining, and that's when people start doing real bad. So everybody usually comes out, looks pretty solid in the first quarter. But Minnesota, they look pretty solid, but the Hoosiers just kept knocking down shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. If you want to look at it, was, like I said, Grace Berger, Allie Patberg, Jalen Penn 15 points, 4 rebounds, Allie Patberg 11.6 rebounds. Indiana now on a 2-game winning streak since beating Penn State. The 3-game losing streak consisted of Iowa, Northwestern, and of course, yours truly, Maryland, of course. But if you're wondering the team that beat number 1 South Carolina this year, and number 1 South Carolina is the top of the women's AP poll ranking, it was Indiana. Indiana beat them, and with this guard trio, like I said, Allie Patberg, Jalen Penn, and also Grace Berger. With that trio at the guard position, they are phenomenal. But they need to get some type of their front court needs some type of play, and they're only going to get that from Alexis Golb and Brianna Wise. Those are the 2 key factors that they need to get going in order to be like a superior team. And they're a good team already, but that front court, they get the front court rolling with Pautberg and Berger, and they all get it going together. They're going to beat South Carolina again. They're going to go into March Madness and be that team to beat. Also, we had last night in the women's, Auburn playing number 13 Kentucky. KU wins 68-61. Great effort from KU last night to get the win over Auburn. We know that the star for KU is Ryan Howard, and she just wasn't She was just struggling to find her shot yesterday. I think she went 3 for 13 from the field. So when somebody's struggling, you got to find somebody else on the team to step up. And the big thing for Ryan Howard yesterday was the fact that she did. I didn't get to see the actual injury to her, but she dislocated her pinky from the knuckle. Like, from the knuckle. And I saw that from the post game interview that she did, and also she came back in the game. She knocked down 2 big free throws. They were asking her about it, and she said she only could use her right hand to shoot it. And I was like, I'm sure she did it on she did it on her left hand. But I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that you see people dislocate fingers all the time, like it just slightly turns, like that half of the finger just slightly turns. But no, it was a complete, like the whole thing from the knuckle. I was like, when she said it like that, I was like, oh no. Oh no, she was just talking about how painful it was. But the fact that she came back in and she knocked down those free throws to pretty much seal the game from Auburn was incredible. So definitely big kudos to her. But the big story of the night last night: Sabrina Hayes, 17 points, 5 of 10 shooting from the field. 4 or 5 of those were 3-pointers behind the arc. Kiki McKinney, she also played well, 6 of 6 shooting, 13 points, also had 8 rebounds. So besides the dislocated pinky to Ryan Howard, it was a great game for KU, and everybody pretty much came out unscathed. So great game for KU, big win, and you just showed the heart of Ryan Howard coming back in the game and trying to help her team get the win. What else do we have? What else we got? We got NBA action from last night. So it looks like in the NBA, Spencer Dinwiddie, number 8 on the Brooklyn Nets, he has changed his number over to number 26. And also just a few minutes ago, Terrence Ross, he was number 8 on the Orlando Magic, and he has switched his number over to number 31. Switches number over to 31, and of course tonight the Clippers and Lakers game gets postponed, which it should have been. I just felt like too much was going on. Like we said, the Grammys was going on. Clippers and Lakers game. It's like I was like, this is too much going on at the Staples Center right now. We need time. They need time to honor Kobe. So the fact that they postponed this Clippers and Lakers game, I'm very happy that they did that. Very classy move, so I was happy that happened. But last night, some NBA action. Magic at the Heat, and we talked about this yesterday. Magic not a first half. Magic are a first half team. The Heat are a first half team, but both teams do not really perform well in the second half. So which team yesterday did not perform well in the second half? Of course, it was the Orlando Magic. Yet again, Steve Clifford has to be enraged. He has to be upset because I can't believe that they only scored 92 points this time this outing. They lost by 21 points, 113 to 92. Magic 48 points in the first half, only 43 points in the second half. Nobody on the Magic scored 13 points. Evan Fournier, another bad outing for him. I think he was 3 of 13 shooting, 9 points. That was the 5th time this season that he had under 10 points in a game, and his second worst shooting night of the 2019-2020 season so far. The Heat, on the other hand, Duncan Robinson, this is now 16 games straight that he's had at least a 3-pointer, which broke the Heat record with 15. So kudos to Duncan Robinson. This man is shooting lights out this season. He's doing big things. Last night, Bam was probably the player of the night last night. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and Duncan Robinson 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. I think Jimmy Butler had 19 points, almost had a 20-point outing for him as well. But just a good game for Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo. And at one point, you're just sitting there looking at the Magic like they couldn't stop the Heat in the first half. Gordon Dragic. You're looking at Tyler Hero. Who was it? It was one more guy. Duncan Robinson, Myers Leonard. They're all knocking down threes in the first half. And Markelle Fultz, I like Markelle Fultz. He needs to get a little better defensively. He just needs to get a little better. And we talked about this on the podcast as well, how Kemba Walker pretty much was just making Markelle Fultz look very pedestrian, made him look very not like a good defender. So Markelle Fultz has his offensive shot back a little bit, but he needs to work on that defense because he's going against these high-powered guards and he's not able to guard these guys. Another game last night, Mavericks playing OKC. The Mavericks pouring in a 3-point barrage last night, 19 points, but they shot 51 overall, and I think it was 99 shots. I think they hit 99 shots last night, so the majority of shots came from the Mavs, were 3-pointers, and they made 19 of them, but that wasn't the reason why they won. The reason why they won the game, again, just like how the Raptors won their game the other night, a team effort. Fourth quarter, team effort. They come together, they do big things together. Luka Doncic last night, 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists, 15 points in the first half, 14 points in the second half. Nerlens Noel, he got switched out on Luka twice, and you have to think that you just have to think that people are sitting there looking like, come on, man, please, somebody go out there and guard Luka besides Nerlens Noel, because to end the half, Luka Doncic had the last 9 points for the Dallas Mavericks, and we're just sitting there looking, and Luka gets switched out on Dennis Schroeder, and it's okay. Now it's Dennis Schroeder versus Luka. Step back three yet again, and it was like, goodness, nobody can check this man. This fall away, he must have learned something from Dirk, because that fall away jump shot is absolutely like uncheckable. You can't block it. It's kind of just like Dirk when Dirk had the little kick. Dirk was like, you can't block it. So good game, like I said, good game for Luka last night. And I'm the biggest thing I'm waiting to see from the Mavericks so far is what are they going to do with Willie Cauley-Stein? Willie Cauley-Stein did not get no minutes last night, did not play. I'm really just wondering how they're going to implement him into the offense or implement him into the rotation of what they're doing. Also, Rockets versus the Jazz last night. Rockets, surprisingly enough, get a win. No Clint Capella, no Russell Westbrook, no James Harden, but somehow, someway they get the win. And who was the guy leading the way? Was it Austin Rivers? No, but he had a great game. Was it Daniel House? No, but he had a great game as well. It was Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon, 14 of 22 shooting, 6 of 11 from three-point last night, 6 rebounds, 50 points, career high. And the last time that Eric Gordon even scored over 40 points, which was a 41-point outing, he had his rookie year 2008 to 2009 season. It was in January. He played against his teammate right now. He played against OKC, Russell Westbrook, where he had a 41-point outing that night. But now he's with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook does not play last night in a 50-point outing for Eric Gordon. He just looked uncheckable. It was kind of shocking because you're not thinking Eric Gordon's like a 3-point barrage type of player. Like he's a person that can like barrage you like James Harden by himself from three. But he was getting inside, facilitating a little bit, just getting to the passing lanes, just going up. He was everywhere. He was moving all around the floor. Good game for Eric Gordon. It definitely shocked me. Austin Rivers also last night, 21 points. Like Daniel House had 21 points as well, 20 points. But Austin Rivers, first time since last season that he even jumps over the 20-point mark. The last time he had over 20 points was January 13th of last year in Orlando. The Jazz tried to fight back. If you look at towards the end of this game, Donovan Mitchell, bucket. Then Bogdanovich, bucket. Rudy Gobert's getting inside. Michael Conley even, I thought, had an and one last night towards the end of this game. It wasn't called. But they just, every time they scored, the Houston Rockets were right there with him. Like Eric Gordon, boom. Austin Rivers, hold up, big three-pointer, boom. Daniel House, boom. And it was PJ Tucker getting inside. But like I said, it was just shocking because you're like, the big three for the Rockets was not there, but yet they're still able to beat a Jazz team that was 12-1 coming into this game, now 12-2 since acquiring Jordan Clarkson. So very shocking that this team was able to get a win. Especially in Utah. That was probably the biggest shock. They got the win in Utah without their trio. Also last night, Kings 133, T-Wolves 129. We're not talking about this game because this game was amazing or magical, or because the T-Wolves have been doing something this whole season. Can they keep losing games? I don't think they've won a game since Cat's been back in the lineup. But 133-129. Buddy Hield, career night. He said he felt like Kobe Bryant was with him while he was going off. Buddy Hield, 42 points last night off the bench. And I was like, absolutely phenomenal. So De'Aaron Fox and Bogdanovich, there's two Bogdanoviches in the NBA. So if you hear me say Kings Bogdanovich and Jazz Bogdanovich, they're literally the same exact name. One has a G in the name, one has a J. So Bojan Bogdanovic on the Kings. He started in place of Buddy Hield, but Buddy Hield off the bench, 42 points, career night for him. If you saw any clip of this game, you probably saw De'Aaron Fox before they go into overtime. He throws the ball literally off the rim, and it was like so precise, like to the tee where it needed to be on the rim, hits the rim right back to De'Aaron Fox, and he gets the layup in the lane, and before everybody crashes down. It was absolutely phenomenal. They get the game to overtime. Buddy Hield did not score any points in overtime, but he got the ball to Bojan Bogdanovic, which gave them the lead, which they never lost in overtime. So good win for the Kings last night. Some other games that were on. Cavs beat the Pistons 115-100. Spurs, they fall to the Bulls. What was the score? Did I write the score down? I don't think I wrote the score down. I think it was 10. I think it was 110, 109. And so, surprisingly enough, when DeMar DeRozan has 36 points, it's the third time this year he scored 36 points. That's his season high so far. It's the third time he did it last night, 36 points. When he scores 36 points, they are 0-3 on the season. When the Spurs are 1-6 on the season when DeMar DeRozan has at least 30 points or more. Out of the 14 games in 2020, DeMar DeRozan has 25 points. Out of 16 games, only 4 of the games he does not have 25 points. So DeMar DeRozan's been balling. We need to see what's going to happen with him towards the trade deadline. If he keeps balling like this, I would assume the Spurs would keep him, but we have to see what the Spurs do. We know that we know Greg Popovich. We don't know if he's going to be coaching next year or coaching furthermore. So we need to see what the Spurs' future is going to look like. But DeMar DeRozan, will he be a piece? Will LaMarcus Aldridge be a piece? We don't know. We got to see. Also, some NFL news. Joe Judge adds Freddie Kitchens to his tight end to the coaching staff. And now I'm really starting to think, it's not Joe. We already know it's not Joe Judge making these calls. It's not Joe Judge making these coaching decisions. And I was actually talking with my friends Matt about this. We were out about 3 nights ago, and we're just sitting there talking about it. He was like, "Man, Gettleman," and he's like, "Gettleman and Moore, they're gonna pretty much ruin Joe Judge before Joe Judge even gets started because they add Jason Garrett, they add the defensive coordinator from Miami, they get the defensive line coach from." They get a defensive line coach from New England. So they're bringing in all these coaches, and you have to think that Joe Judge doesn't know any of these guys. We just know that Joe Judge's he coached under Nick Saban, he coached under Bill Belichick, 2 of the greatest minds probably in football. So all you can really do is hope that Joe Judge makes his own opinions. He lets these guys influence him in the correct way. He knows what to take in, knows what to leave out. That's all you can do at this point with Joe Judge, because I really feel like Moore and Gettleman might ruin this thing before it even gets started. And you sit there and look at the Giants, Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Sterling Shepard, rookie that going into his sophomore year, Darius Slayton, Evan Ingram when healthy, a monster. So you have this very young offensive weaponry. But will the coaching hurt them? Will Jason Garrett hurt them at the offensive coordinator position? Will he be trying to do too much to influence Joe Judge on his philosophies? We'll have to see what happens. But I'm not really fond of all this storming around. We're just gonna grab this coach, grab that coach, or poach this coach from here. I don't know what's going on with all this. Also, the Browns, Andrew Berry, getting a 5-year contract to be the general manager and the EVP of football operations. So we have to see, everybody. The trend right now is to go for younger coaches. You got Sean McVay with the Rams, Cliff Kingsbury with the Cardinals, Kyle Shanahan. You're getting these young coaches, and the young coaches are doing big things. But it's like general manager position. The guy's 32 years old, youngest general manager in NFL history. So we're going to have to see. He's the over players operations. So we're going to have to see what happens. I think it's going to be very interesting for the Browns. They're trying to, follow the trend right now. So we're going to have to see what happens. Also, the Texans today, they make Bill O'Brien the head. He's already the head coach. Now he's the general manager of the team as well. So we're also going to have to see how that affects the Houston Texans. So I assume that gives Bill O'Brien more leeway of what to say, how the roster looks, and he makes more of an interpretation that way. So we'll have to see what Bill O'Brien does. And the Pats, they lose Dante Scarincia. He's retiring after 50 years of coaching, 36 seasons in the NFL. He came into the NFL 1982 he came into the NFL. 1989, 1990 he left the Patriots and went to the Colts for 2 years, then came back to the Patriots. He's been with the Patriots ever since. He always liked Belichick, and he said that he would bet his career that Belichick would probably make his career. So, and looked at a list, and they said that this guy, Dante Scarincia, is the 6th most important person in the New England building. So, hell of a career, I would say, from like 1982 to coaching until just last season. That's absolutely incredible, especially to stay around with one team. You must be valued. You must have a great, high offensive mind. So kudos to him on a great career. 50 years, that's a long time. Definitely a long time. So let's talk about some upcoming events tonight, upcoming games. We have Iowa State playing number 2 Baylor, 8:30 on FS1. Iowa State needs Ashley Jones to play the way she did against TCU. Ashley Jones plays for Iowa State. When she played TCU, 31-point outing. We know Nalissa Smith, Tia Cooper, and we have Lauren Cox. We already know the Baylor Lady Bears. That's their big three. But the question is Nalissa Smith playing tonight? I tried to send a message on Twitter to the Lady Bears to see if Nalissa Smith was playing tonight. Of course, I didn't get no answer. Not yet, I didn't. But no answer. So hopefully we see Nalissa Smith. But of course, if we don't see her, we have Queen Egbo, and we know that she's a force inside. The last 2 games for her, Nalissa Smith did not play. She had 14 points and 7 assists against TCU, 16 points, 8 rebounds against Texas Tech, and we know those are 2 very big schools also in women's basketball. So the question will be, can Kristen Scott, the center for Iowa State, is she up to the challenge tonight, playing against Nalissa Smith or playing against Queen Egbo? Something we're going to have to see. But that game's, like I said, 8:30 FS1. Also, we have men's college basketball tonight. Number 8 Villanova playing St. John's University. That's going to be on FS1. That game's before the Iowa State and Baylor game. So I think that game starts at 6:30. We also have number 5 Florida State. They're playing UVA, 7 o'clock ESPN. I will definitely be watching that game, 5:42 right now, so I got time. Purdue at number 25 Rutgers. That's 8 o'clock Big Ten Network. If you have Big Ten Network, the league pass for Big Ten Network is $15. That's how you can see that game tonight. Also, we have number 16 Butler at Georgetown. Patrick Ewing, 9 o'clock, that's CBS SN. I'm going to probably try to watch that game as well. And then, of course, to top it off, 9 o'clock ESPN, we have Pittsburgh playing number 9 Duke. That should be a good game. And top 3 NBA games tonight, in my opinion, we have the Hawks playing the Raptors, 7:30 NBA League Pass. I'll probably see that game. Celtics versus the Heat, I have to watch that. 8 o'clock TNT. Don't miss it. Last but not least, we have the Nuggets playing the Grizzlies at 8 o'clock as well, NBA League Pass. Those are my top 3 games in NBA. Those are some upcoming events that are happening tonight. Everybody, thank you for joining me on another episode of Sports Outside the Box. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.